meet my bride. Let's go for a ride in my newfangled automobile. Just where we will go, nobody knows, but it's sure a great way to feel. Behind the wheel of the Speed Meter Steel, it's my newfangled automobile.
Hello and welcome to Vintage Car History. I'm Wild Bill. In the car collecting and enthusiast world of today, there are those that love the orphan cars. This refers to cars where the original manufacturer is no longer in business. And the further back in time you go, the more orphan cars you'll find. There are also many fan clubs of various orphan cars from the last 120 years or so. And today we're going to look at a quirky little orphaned German car that, like an obscure cult movie, still has a strong fan base. The Hansa. You would expect a quirky little car to have quirks involved. So here they are. Our first is August Sporkhorst. This native of Dortmund was born in 1871. His father was an executive at the local steel mill and ensured that young August got a good education. Young Sporkhorst studied at several prestigious schools, eventually receiving his engineering degree from the University of Berlin. His career was fruitful, and by 1905 he was the engineer in charge of the cotton weaving mill that was in the town of Varel, a small seaport along the German North Sea coast. It was here that August met a Mr. Robert Almers. He also came from a successful family. His father, Adolf, owned a large grain farm in Absen and was also a local newspaper publisher. Born in 1872, he was quite studious, being interested in history, medicine, economics, and law, studying all of them. He eventually received his doctorate in economics from the University of Berlin in 1896. Now, Robert was a well-connected fellow, politically active, and had friends in high places. And automobiles were becoming all the rage in Europe at the turn of the 20th century, and Robert wanted a piece of the action. Not just to drive them, but to build them. However, his expansive education did not include the engineering knowledge to make that happen, so he needed a partner. Thus, in 1905, Sporkhorst and Almers joined forces and created a new car company, Hansa. The good doctor took care of the business side of things, while August sharpened his pencil and designed the cars. And the designs were all over the place. The factory, established in Bremen, produced for the first 1905 model year run 9 different models. 5 with De Dion single, twin, and even 4-cylinder engines, and 4 electric cars built under license based on local Krieger models. This is where Hansa gets even more quirky. The company expanded, absorbing the Lloyd Auto Works and merging with them, and also focusing on commercial vehicles. Meanwhile, the cars being offered became, well, kinda commercial looking. True, they were small cars, and Hansa didn't build their own engines at the time. All were De Dion, Fafnir, or HHG, but were built with a ruggedness not typical of light cars of the day. The company officially became Hansa Lloyd in 1913 and introduced new and more powerful models for the occasion. Hansa cars tried their hand at racing and found some success at hill climb events, their stoutness being a boon for such races. The 1913 4-cylinder 55 horsepower model was the star of the pre-Great War lineup, and other smaller cars were also on the offing. Hansa would build lots of aircraft for Germany during World War I, and afterwards, more quirky cars. They would be taken over by another quirky car maker, Borgward, in 1931. Hansa owners have their clubs and meetings and absolutely love their cars. Owning a Hansa isn't like owning a Ford Model T or Model A. Anyone can own a Ford, but to own a Hansa, you've got to be a bit quirky. Thanks for watching Vintage Car History, and we'll see you next week. Peace.